Okay, perfect. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Playmakers Corner podcast. I'm your host for today, Simon Villanos, and we're back at it with another interview. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, man? Your name, what position you play, where you're from, and what class you are.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Devean Isaac. I play inside linebacker. I'm a class of 2022, and I'm from Longview, Texas.
And it's good to have you onto the show, man. You're one heck of a player and probably one of the sleepers in the
I
state of
appreciate
Texas,
that.
so we appreciate that.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. So before we kind of hop into your game, let's talk about some memories here. So this is something we pretty much, let me say that again. This is something we pretty much ask everybody who comes onto this show. But what's your favorite like sports experience or memory that you have while playing? So this is a memory that you're like actively like participating in.
Well, it used to be baseball. I was a big baseball kid, and then I got into high school, turned into football. Baseball was getting my first home run. My dad was my coach. That was a big moment. And then flag football, winning the Super Bowl, that was a big moment for me too. So
All right, I got you, man. That's what's up. So do you not play baseball anymore? Are you more focused on football at this point?
yeah, I'm focused on football right now. I might come back to baseball next year, and I also might do track next year. But I think I'm gonna just focus on football, so I don't get distracted or get any injuries, anything like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally get that. All right, all right. So, with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and assume you're probably a sports fan in some sort of manner.
Yes,
You
sir.
are from the state of Texas, so with that being said, what's your favorite like sport viewing experience? So this just doesn't have to be a football like I've mentioned before and whatnot. This could be anything. So this is something that you've experienced as a fan.
Well, I've been to a couple of baseball games. I went to a couple of Texas Rangers games, and those were definitely fun to watch with my family. So, but I went to a Cowboys game, so I don't know. It's kind of even right there. I love both of those teams, and it was definitely a great experience for both of them.
Yeah, man, no, for sure. I totally get that. So, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I'm actually from Dallas. Like I grew up over in
Oh,
yeah, I grew up over in Plano for a really long time actually, for about 15, 16 years of my life. So, I get the whole vibe. I'm a whole like Mavs fan, Stars fan. Well, not I don't know. I don't mess with hockey that much, but
yeah.
Mavs fan and Rangers fan for sure. A little bit of the Cowboys, but I totally get that. So, with that being said, kind of mentioned football earlier on here. So, do you have like a specific memory or I guess series of events that like really got you into football? Like that was like your fall in love with football kind of moment?
I don't really know about that one, but I know for sure um, my freshman year going into it and then seeing all these kids getting these offers and stuff like that, and I just realized, that could be me. I can get me a scholarship. I can go on to the next level if I just work hard, do my thing, and then I just progressed as I went on, and I don't know, just working hard at this point.
Yeah, no, not for sure. Get that, man. That's what's up. I understand that whole grind absolutely. So,
Yeah.
all right then. So, speaking of offers and whatnot, let's talk about your game that has earned you a couple offers I've heard. So, first things first, let's start with my evaluation of your game. What was your reaction to it? What were like the positives, negatives? Did you feel like it was fair? This is if there's anything that you feel like was out of pocket or anything like that, feel free to address it here. And this is our time to chop it up.
Oh, most definitely. I loved it. It was definitely fair because, I'm only a junior. I still got one more year. I still can progress. I'm still getting better at things, and there's nothing I'm perfect at. I'm still mastering my craft. So I definitely think it was fair. I still got a lot of stuff to work on, anyways.
Fair enough, fair enough. So this wasn't, and this is kind of a little bit off the script, but this wasn't your first year starting on varsity, was it?
This was my first year actually starting
Oh,
on varsity. Last year, I was a sophomore. I would be on special teams, kickoff. You know how that goes.
yeah.
I wasn't really starting. I probably got in the game, I'd say about a couple of times, when it's a blowout or something like that, but nothing other than special teams.
Okay, that's interesting. That makes a little bit of sense as well. So we'll come back to that later when we talk about this last season here. But all right then. So with that being said, kind of talking about your game a little bit more here, man. Are there any players or role models that you feel like you really model your game after? Obviously, there's only one Devin Isaac, but do you have some role models out there that you pick some qualities from and you feel like you really like emulate that?
Well, Devin White, he's a very fast linebacker. I want to be one of those 4-4s or 4-3s linebackers. That's pretty fast. You can move, you can cover somebody, you can move around the field, you can play stronger safety, which I really want to do. Right now, I'm 4'6", 4'6", 4'6" guy. So I feel like I just want to up my speed and my agility so I can move and gain ground. I can cover people so I can play multiple positions at the next level.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I see a lot of that actually. That's actually a really good comparison there and a good role model too. You don't hear that every day. So that's an interesting one for sure. So, all right then. Well, kind of talking about your game more and some things that separate you from others. In your opinion, what are like two or three qualities that separate you from other linebackers not only in the state of Texas but the country at this point?
I feel like my mentality is like definitely one of the biggest things. I don't care who's in front of me. I'm gonna go and try and hit it. If you're in my way, I'm gonna go and try and hit you. It's that simple. I I don't like being this sort of guy and then people try and poke me around. It don't work like that. To me, like I don't care how big you are, I'm gonna definitely go up and hit you.
Yeah, that's what I love to hear, and I bet that's what college coaches love to hear as well.
Yeah,
You gotta have that dude that's a savage, because if you got a bunch of team members, or I don't know, some team members or defensive players who ain't about that life, I don't know. You gotta have at least one who has set that tone. So that's
yes,
what I love to hear. And honestly, you see that in your game as well. I love that you brought up mentality more than anything because, I mean, not that it's bad to bring up like physical attributes at all, but it definitely shows when you're out there just looking at your game film, man. It always seems like you're trying to set that tone, and that's a
yeah,
good thing for sure because you also make the right football decision because there are some
exactly.
guys who try to set the tone but they definitely, yeah, I don't know, their football decisions are a little off. So that's really good to hear for sure. So with that being said, let's kind of talk about this last season here, starting and whatnot. So you did say it was your first year starting, which is kind of a heck of an accomplishment, more than others. I say this to a lot of kiddos and whatnot who do start for the first time. Even on this last episode I did a bunch of Texas football players
Yes, sir.
and like two or three of them were first year starters from Cy-Fair, I want to say Lake Ridge, and they did their thing. And honestly, to start at all or to be a first year starter in a COVID year with limited off season, bunch of crazy stuff going on, that's honestly an accomplishment at this point because that it takes a bit. And then obviously to start in the state of Texas at all is a pretty dang difficult thing in general because you always got athletic freaks everywhere. So that's good. But kind of talking about your team here. I correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe y'all went 9-3, which is pretty solid. 4-1 in y'all's league, and then y'all lost to, was it Temple in the playoffs?
That was last year. This year or 2 years ago, my bad. Temple was 2 years ago. Last year we lost to Denton Ryan
Oh,
and
my bad. I was looking at the schedule reversed here. Yeah, so it was Denton Ryan.
yes, sir.
Okay, I got you. And it was only 27-9. And that's a pretty solid squad out there. I mean, 9-3 in a COVID year, that's not bad at all. So,
Oh yeah.
with that being said, was there anything from this last season that you kind of took from? Obviously, it was your first year starting, but were there any lessons or things that really just impacted you?
Just focus on what I can do. There will be plays where people will not be in the right spot, or they won't do the job right. I gotta stop worrying about trying to do other people's jobs. I need to worry about working on my job, doing my job, and everything will be all right. Because my defensive coordinator, he would talk to me. He would be like, "You're doing too much. I love how you're a sideline to sideline player, but I like you just do your job only." Because I would trying to do multiple jobs because I don't want people messing up. It sounds kind of selfish, but I don't. You know, I'm a more competitive person.
Yeah.
It's like a winning nature type of thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Would you say that you're a perfectionist in that, I guess, sense?
Uh, I don't know about perfectionist. I know how people, there's nothing's perfect, but I don't know about perfectionist on that one.
All right, man. Just asking, but that's good to, hold your teammates to higher standards anyways, but you do have a good point there as well. Once you start keeping everyone's, job in mind, you sometimes lose track of your own and whatnot.
Yes,
And you got to have a clear mind when you play in football out there because you got to make crisp decisions on the flip. So
yeah.
that's actually a real good lesson to learn from. So, all right, then with that being said, how do you feel about this next upcoming season? Obviously, you probably have a different set of goals, both personally and for your team. But what do you feel like? Okay, well, let's start with that. How do you feel about this upcoming season, just to start?
Well, first off, we have a lot of potential. We might be a smaller group, all of our kids are smaller in their positions, but we have a lot of potential. We just got to get people in the right spot, right mentality, just work hard, do what they got to do, and I think we'll be pretty good. I think we'll be great. We got some dogs on our team that are small, but they'll go hit you in the mouth. They'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's a team that a lot of coaches love to love. So,
Yes, sir.
that's good, man. So kind of, I mean, I don't want to say underdog mentality, but kind of like that whoever football, like we go play and beat down whoever type of deal, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, okay. I like that. I like that for sure. So, with that being said, obviously you want to take another step forward in the playoffs. Go another round or even try to make a little run here to state. In your opinion, what do you feel like you need to do differently this year to take that step? And then as a team, what do you feel like y'all as a squad have to do differently to take that next step forward?
I feel like I need to step up even more as a leader because I've always been wanting to be a leader. I always wanted to have a leader role model. I wanted to make sure like people have the right mentality, make sure they're okay, just don't get down on themselves. I'm always there by like picking their head up. I'm like, come on, we got the next play. Just do better next time. It's all good. And honestly, like it's just it's hard. We're working right now. It's a lot. We got a long way to go, but I feel like we have a lot of potential. We could even go all the way if we wanted to.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely. Do y'all have a lot of seniors returning, or is this
Uh,
more of a younger team, you would say?
I would say it's more of a younger team. We're getting a couple of freshmen up on the DBs, getting moved or going into their sophomore year. Some juniors going senior year. They're just now coming in. Starting. I was the only junior starting on my defense as at the time. The only other player was a sophomore, but our senior safety, he didn't play it anymore after that, so he filled in his spot. So it's just me and the sophomore coming back. But we have plenty of juniors. We have plenty of juniors going to go to senior year that have a lot of potential. They just need to get it in gear, make sure they're doing the right thing, and I don't doubt they'll be great. I really don't doubt it.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. And that's interesting. When you got a kind of a younger team, there's always a lot of potential because at that point, other than like a bunch of JV games, freshman games, maybe even middle school games, you don't know what kind of players they are yet, or at least if you're an opponent, you don't know what kind of players are yet. So you kind of have that wild card going for you, and that's always an exciting thing for sure. You just got to get that right mentality, put in
Yeah,
place and whatnot. So that's interesting, man. Well, first off, before I forget, good luck this next upcoming season and whatnot. We'll be following y'all for sure out there.
I
So
appreciate.
Yeah, no, no problem at all. So, all right then. Well, kind of transitioning to the off season then, what are some things that you have made a point of working on this off season, whether it's like physical stuff, mental stuff? I know you kind of mentioned some things there, but what are some things you've been working on and I guess some resources that you've used as well to improve as a linebacker?
Definitely speed and flexibility. I've been stretching a lot. I make sure I'm not stiff because I'm a bigger dude,
Yeah.
so I gotta make sure I always stretch, never get stiff, and get faster. I always want to be able to get faster. That's I'm never gonna want to stop getting faster. However old I get, I'm never gonna stop wanting to get faster. Uh, Agility, being able to cover people, just anything like that, and definitely getting stronger. It's a lot, but
Yeah, no, I mean I got you, but those are all good things to work on, and I'm glad you brought up a flexibility. I know there's some dudes out there, some football players who really don't like look into that and take care of their bodies. Plus, also make themselves better
yeah,
because it does, allow them to have a wider range of motion and whatnot. So that's actually something that I really like to hear. Well, really all of it, because I think one of my biggest things with you is that I love that, you're a fantastic run stopper. You're a hard hitter. You're tough against the run. You're pretty tough against the pass, after the catch and whatnot. But I think the one thing that I really wanted to see more of is just more coverage film, man, because I think
yeah.
you just have a lot of potential out there. I mean, I might have just misseen it or maybe just didn't see you cover as much. But what did you think about that part of my evaluation? Just critiquing some of your coverage, or I guess the lack of that film.
You were definitely right. It's completely fair because I didn't have a lot of covering like film because I would usually be in the blitzing. I would be in the blitzing. I would be it'll be quick game type of passing. So it was like you really didn't have that kind of option. But there were some plays I would go out, get the number two receiver if you came across the middle. But it wasn't really that much because of just mostly because of the offensive like plays and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, and I totally get that for sure, for sure. I mean, plus also it was kind of your first year, so it would have been a lot kind of to keep in mind, a lot of tricks in the bag and stuff flying around. So
Yeah,
I totally get that for sure. But it is good to hear though that you are working and gearing up to be I don't want to even say a better pass coverage person because like I feel like I don't have enough film to really give you a good grade on that or give you a
yeah,
grade on that at all at this point. But it is good to hear that you are working on that and getting better because I think there's a lot of potential there that colleges will see next year. So speaking of that, well, okay, sorry, not quite there yet. But before we move on to recruiting and colleges and all that, in your opinion going into your senior year, what are some goals that you still have for high school ball?
I definitely want to be first team all district. That's one of my big things. Maybe even all state, all area. All these takes is some one of those like mentions, one of those, but definitely one of those. Something else.
Okay.
Sorry, kind of going blank right now. My bad.
Hey, you're all good, man. No, but that's a good goal for sure. I mean, not only for recognition, but if you do make one of those teams, like that means you're one of the best in Texas, and that's always a huge accomplishment.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so I totally get that for sure. All right then. Well,
I
that
think I
being
got a
said,
couple more. My
well,
bad.
sorry, what was that?
I think I got a couple more. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just kind of went blank for a little bit,
Hey, you're
but
good. Go ahead.
definitely most tackles on the team. Lead the team in tackles. Uh, Definitely get a couple of picks this year. Uh, Fumbles. Anything with stats. I just want to get better at that because this year wasn't the biggest, pop out numbers, because, how my size and everything, they're going to look at that. But until they look at my stats, that's kind of how I think at this point. I just want to be able to have pop out numbers because of the size that I have going on.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're all good there, and I mean, I totally understand that, man. I mean, the biggest thing with you, I would say, before we move on talking about the future and all that, I feel like the one of the bigger things with you is that you're just a junior, right? Or you were just a junior this last year,
Yes, sir.
and like like you said, the stats didn't exactly like pop off the page. They look a lot like a lot of other players, but the thing is, when you look at your film, your stats really don't do you justice. I'll just be honest with you, because you do a lot of
Okay.
things that are very good, that are, I would say, even at a pretty elite level, like a D1 FPS type of level, in my opinion. And
I
so,
appreciate that.
yeah, no, of course, man. And so having that mentality that you're gonna get better, and obviously you're gonna have a full off season, a full like or a more full season, I would say, this next year. Your stats are definitely going to go up if you continue to do what you got to do on the field and whatnot. So those are all good goals, and it's actually good to have some goals that are measured by numbers and all that anyways, just so that you
Yeah,
know where you want to be at.
yeah.
All right then. So that being said, let's kind of talk about the future here. So I kind of just wanted to ask you about your recruiting journey so far. I was just going through your social medias. I saw you got a couple offers, one from Texas Southern. I want to say SMU was looking at you as well with a couple others, but I
Yes,
just
sir.
wanted to ask you how that has all been. You know, not only this year, but like in a COVID year where it's all crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is very crazy. I think first school to contact me was Rice. Rice was the first school, and then it started gaining a little bit more, and then I got Texas Southern. I honestly didn't think the offer was gonna even happen. I just knew they loved the film, and then the linebackers coach, shout out to him. He had a lot of faith in me. He loved the film, so I got offered by their school, and then I probably say 2 weeks after my Texas Southern offer, SMU started uh, liking the film. They started talking to me a little bit, and then a couple other schools like Nevada. I can't even think of other ones. Sorry about that.
You're all good, man. I mean, I totally get that. So, here, feel free to not answer this or to dodge this question if you need to. But, is there any specific schools that you're really like leaning towards, or something like that? Or even if you don't want to answer that, are there qualities or specific things that you're looking into a school moving forward, or that you want to
Um,
have in the school that you choose moving forward?
to be honest, I'm not looking specifically. Whatever is like gives me the opportunity or has faith in me, the size thing, that's one thing that comes in mind because not a lot of schools are just gonna like offer kids that are a linebacker that's 5'11" or 5'10". So that's definitely if you have faith in me to be one of your athletes, play on your team, I would definitely love that for sure. Um, I do like schools close to home, Texas, definitely. Don't get me wrong, I would love to like leave Texas, go somewhere else, and then whatever shows me the best love, whatever school shows me the most love, uh, wants me more, I definitely think that's the best school for me. Whatever feels like home.
All right then, man. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, those are still good. That's as specific as it could get, honestly, man. Those are some good things to keep in mind moving forward and whatnot. So, honestly, best of luck with that, because I'm really excited. I think this next year you're gonna be put on the map, because right now, and this is pretty blasphemous. Uh, well, first off, at the time this interview is probably gonna come out, it's probably gonna come out, I want to say, right before your senior year, most likely, like, or your senior season, most likely. So we're looking at a summer release date here. So right now,
Yes,
there's probably gonna, be a little bit of hype building up until then. But And I really do think you're somebody who at least needs to be ranked. Like, I just looked at 24/7, man, and you got 0 stars when, in my opinion, you at least deserve 3 or 4.
Yes. I,
Probably at least 3, in my opinion. So there you go. Um, I don't know, man. I just think you're a heck of a talent, and so you could definitely see those ramping up here soon here as the season comes sooner. So that's exciting for sure, for sure.
yes,
But
I appreciate that a lot. I really do.
yeah, man, no problem, man. Honestly, I kind of wanted to address the size thing real quick. 5'11", are you at 210 right now, or what's your playing weight?
208, 208 is fluctuating. You know how weight goes. For
Yeah.
me, it's very hard. Eating and then just it still goes down. Trying to eat protein, just eating constantly, trying to eat good food is always going down, going up, going down. It's really hard to manage, but I mean, I still try my best.
No, I feel you, man. I feel you. And honestly, in my honest opinion, if you can maintain that 210, you'll probably be fine. Just being completely serious with you,
Yes, sir.
you'll probably be all right. Because as long as you have that speed and agility, that's the thing. Because there are a lot of coaches out there who'd rather have, speed and agility than like some strong dude who can't move at all and can't cover
Yeah,
nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because you could go head to head with some of these linemen. I've seen you do it too, and
yes, sir.
it's kind of wild. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a little wild. I love to see it.
Yes,
You don't see that every day, and so I think some of these colleges for sure will be kind of waking up here pretty soon here. So just
yes, sir.
expect all that, man. I mean, honestly, you're a heck of a player.
I appreciate that. I just love contact. I like getting in the hole. I like meeting somebody. I like just like hitting. That's one of the things I love being on defense because you get to hit every single play. If it was offense, like running back, if I was playing running back, I would be the one getting hit every single play. So I really wouldn't enjoy that, but I get to do the hitting. This just I've always been a physical person, like since middle school, ever since I started doing tackle football. So I just love it. This defense is the best side to me. That's how it is to me.
Hey, you right, man. I'm a defensive guy over here.
Yes,
Over on
sir.
the podcast, I mostly take, well, okay, I don't take all of them, but I do a lot of defensive breakdowns because I understand all that. I love hitting. I love being physical. I love setting that tone and all that. There ain't nothing like it. The other guy on this podcast, Cody, he's great, but he a receiver, he an offensive guy, so you know how it is. They all
Yeah.
about all that, but we about the real stuff, that real football. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? So I feel you on that. That's what's up, man, for sure. All right then. So now that we're kind of wrapping up this interview, which again, thank you so much for coming on, man. This
I
is kind of your
appreciate
opportunity to shout out some people that have really helped you out, whether it's academically or athletically, and just some people you'd like to thank on the show. This could be friends, families, coaches, fellow players alike. Honestly, take as long as you need if you'd like.
definitely my parents. I wouldn't be here without them. I wouldn't be doing the things that I am right now without them. And then my teammates, they they make me better. I want to make them better. So it's an ongoing cycle. And then definitely my coaches. Shout out to Coach Barry and Coach Hart, my defensive coordinator, my linebackers coach. Uh, I wouldn't be the same player I am without them either. It's a lot of people in here that play a role to how I am today as an athlete, as a person, as a student. I really appreciate all of them. But I appreciate you having me on here too, also. So
Yeah, man. No, anytime, man. And hopefully, you make it to that. Well, you probably will make it to that D1 level, and we will get another breakdown of you done a couple of years later. So,
yes, sir.
show some of these youngins out here how that progression be sometimes, because
Yes,
that's an important thing, that some players don't see. So, once again, thank you so much for coming on to the show. Real quick. I'm gonna edit this part out right here. But real quick, so I'm gonna wrap up the show, and then I kind of, if you have some time here, I don't. Hopefully, I'm not taking up all your time here.
no, you're good. You're perfectly fine.
Okay, just making sure. But if you have some time here, I just wanted to get one more soundbite from you
Yes, sir.
after I wrap this up, and then after that, we could say our proper goodbyes. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Perfect. All right, so that'll wrap up this episode, or that'll wrap up this interview of the Playmakers Corner podcast. First off, if you're listening to this, thank you for listening. We'd really appreciate it if you give us a good rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to us, and make sure you check out that YouTube channel as well, and our TikTok. We'll be posting a lot more content there as well. But anyways, thank you for rocking with us, and peace. All right. So for this sound bite here, I could type it up too if you need. I know some other players kind of needed it typed up just so they didn't mess up. But here, first things first. Excuse me. First things first. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna sound a little bit cheesy, kind of like some Disney Channel type of shit, but like it's gonna be dope when we edit it together. So what I want you to say is, "Hi, my name is Devean Isaac. I'm a linebacker for Longview High School, class of 22, and you're listening to the Playmakers Corner podcast."
Okay.
Do you need me to type that up? I can if you need me to.
I just gotta rehear it one more time. Probably, yeah. Go ahead and type it up because
Okay, I got you. Here, one sec.
I don't want to waste it or make you have to do anything extra. So
Hey, you're all good, man. No worries there. It is Longview High School, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, just making sure. That's what I thought. Okay, there you go. It should be in the chat.
Okay. You want me to go ahead and say that right now, or when do you want me to say that?
Oh yeah, go ahead whenever you're ready.
I gotta look at the chat real quick. There we go. Hi, I'm Devean Isaac. I'm a linebacker over at Longview High School, class of 2022. You're listening to Playmakers Corner on podcast. I messed up. My bad, man.
Nah, you good. You good. Here, go again. Go again. You had
All
it.
right. Hey, how's it going? My name is Devean Isaac. I'm a linebacker over at Longview High School, class of 2022, and you're listening to Playmakers Corner podcast.
Hey, there you go. That's gonna be dope. We're gonna
That
put that
sounded
on
way
that
better.
preview. What was that?
That sounded way better,
Yeah, nah, it's all good, man. All right, here, let me stop recording here. So